It's 2025. We need to learn how to correctly set goals. I am going to have to commit to getting on my Zoom and doing my homework to achieve these goals. Otherwise, I can't just be like, "Oh, why does didn't happen?" Well, you didn't commit to all the hidden costs. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zainab, and today we are going to deep dive into how to set goals. It's 2025. We need to learn, whatever age we are, how to correctly set goals. If you are like me and you are just a goal getter, you are ambitious, you are like, I want all the great things out of life, you probably had some trouble like sticking to a few. So I'm really here to show you guys how to set goals instead of just writing them down and hoping that you'll achieve them, because I have learned I have learned the hard way that that's only a recipe for burnout, overwhelm, and feeling like you're not getting anywhere. But today I'm going to show you exactly my 5-step process, like what I've kind of honed in over the years, like through reading and audiobooks, podcasts, and really just seeing results from setting my goals like this. So let's get into it. So, first, I want to say that setting goals is really a science. It's not, of course, everything is about mindset. And I personally believe that you're not going to achieve anything, or it's less likely that you're going to achieve things if you don't believe or put yourself out there. But I feel like more importantly, it is a science. It's an equation to it. And I feel like many people don't know the equation. They're just like, I'm just going to set these goals because this is what I want. And, we're just girls or men, whatever, whoever's watching. I'm just a girl. Just a girl. I want this. It's going to happen. In reality, it's a recipe for burnout, like I said earlier. So I have used this method myself, and it has helped me in increasing my revenue for both of my businesses. It has helped me with losing weight, because for the longest I would set goals and wonder why does weight ain't coming off. So it's helped me with that, and it's also helped me with gaining traction and like my personal goals. So let's get into it. We're going to break it down into 5 easy steps that you can do today. That you can do today or within the next 48 hours. So let's get into step 1. The first thing that you're going to do is do a brain dump. We love a brain dump. You're going to do a brain dump for 3 major areas of your life. So, for my overthinkers, my overachievers, and my ambitious women, this is for you. What you're going to do is start with one topic. For example, let's say the first thing is going to be your personal life. You're going to set a timer. You're going to set a timer on your phone for 1 minute. And don't do this in your notes. Do it with a pencil or paper, a pencil and paper, pen, and a notebook. Set a timer for 1 minute and just write everything that you want in your personal life, whether it is weight loss, whether you want to move out, whether you want to make more friends, you want more romance in your life, whether you want to travel. Just write down everything. Nothing is crazy. Anything that you want, write down everything. And then you're going to stop after 1 minute. Then you're going to do another 60 seconds for career and business, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're trying to get ahead at work, anything. And then the last one is going to be lifestyle. You're going to set your timer 60 seconds for lifestyle, whether that's traveling, experiences, major life changes, all of that. So when I started, and for the past, since I've been in high school, really, I've always loved goals. And a pattern that I noticed with myself is I would just always write down everything. I can do everything. I can finish 20 paintings this year. I can pay all my debt on this thing. I can make a product line for this. I can do it. And it's a recipe for burnout. So when you focus on 3 areas, it makes it so much easier for you. Not only does it make it so much easier for you, it's not scattered. It's not scattered, and it's less unrealistic. When you focus on less, you start to see real change. It goes the same thing as the quote, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, if you're trying to achieve a goal, right? Let's say those 3 cups, they all need to be filled to the brim for you to achieve it. You only have 1 cup, you can't divert your attention to all 3 or 4 goals. And it's worse when you have like 20 goals at the same time. We can achieve anything that we want. I am not telling you that you can't achieve what you want. Please believe me. I am a proud believer. If you can achieve anything that you want, but can you achieve it all at the same time? It's not likely. It's not likely. I mean, you're gonna burn yourself out. Take it from me. And Burnout can look very different for all of us. It can look like depression. It can look like your face breaking out. It can look like gaining weight. It can look like pushing people away. It can look like just not paying attention to what you should pay attention to. So if that didn't sell you, please take it from me. Like you don't want that. We don't want that for ourselves. If you do not do a brain dump, you don't know what you actually want. You'll just refer to social media or what your friends or family tells you that you should do, societal constructs on what's right, what you should focus on. You might scroll on Instagram and see somebody else with a business like, hey, I want to do that. That's cool. That's doing well. Or you might see somebody else that's traveling someplace. Well, oh, that's nice. Whole time you had it on your list to go to Turkey for the past 3 years, but you're looking elsewhere and you're like, hey, that's cool too. But you want to focus on what you want. The consequence of not doing this is that your goals stay vague. You don't get to deep dive into it. You'll set goals based on what sounds good, not what actually matters to you. And you don't want to focus on just what sounds good. Give yourself the time, and it's only 60, Give yourself the time, and it's only 60 seconds to think about what really matters to you. So, what you're going to do, and this is still the first step, but it's like the second part of it. So, like 1B, you are going to circle two things in each category. So, you're going to go to the first list, your personal goals, and you're going to circle one thing that you will focus on within the next year, and then you're going to focus on something that you can achieve within the next year and a half or 2 years. So circle something in your personal goals that you can achieve in the first year, and then circle something in your second goals that you can achieve within the next year and a half or 2 years. So you should have two circles from the first pile. Then you're going to do the same thing for the second pile. And this is once you're finished, you're going to see what you actually care about, what you actually want to do, what you have the time for. Next, you're going to circle what you want to achieve within the next year in the career and business compartment list. So let's say you want to get a promotion. You want to get a promotion within the next year. You would circle that. Or let's say you have a business and you want to reach a specific revenue goal. You're going to circle that. And then you're going to do the same thing for lifestyle. Step 2, and this is the important part that I had to realize about setting goals. Once I heard about this, I was like, oh, that makes sense because we don't have the time. Step 2 is going to be identify the cost of these goals. And they're like, Zainab, the cost, what? But basically, the cost, that means what is it going to take you in time, energy, and money? What is these goals going to cost you? I'm going to tell you guys how you're going to do that. So as we know, every goal is going to have a cost. It could be time, money, effort, or even sacrifices. Yes, scary sacrifices, but if we want it, we got to sacrifice something, right? So after step 1 and we figured out which goals are important to us, and I like to push it a little further and be intentional and be like, okay, why do I want this goal? Why will it be a priority? Why should I focus on that? And you can do 1 to 2 sentences on that. But after that, step 2, you're going to list out all the potential hidden costs. Yes, the hidden fees and the hidden cost of this. For example, I said that I wanted to lose weight, right? I had a specific number. I said I wanted to lose 40 pounds. So in the summer of last year, I wrote out what are all the potential costs of this. For example, one cost is going to be not eating outside. When I get stressed out, it's very easy for me to eat outside. So not only is it cost not eating outside, but the cost is also going to be me having to sacrifice my Sundays to meal prep my food so that when I'm hungry, I can just go in my fridge and eat food. That is going to be a cost. Another cost is going to be having to create time for meal prepping and creating time for like tracking my macros, um, tracking out my grocery expenses, making a list out any cost that these goals would have. It doesn't require money. How much time will realistically take, and what habits or comforts will you have to give up? I had to give up my sweets. That's for one goal. Another goal that I had was for my business. I had to give up constantly being on social media. And y'all, since starting my business in 2017, I have been on the internet. I have been on the internet, like creating my art and everything I had to give up constantly being on social media to reach a specific goal of reaching other customers. Like I'm still making content, but it's not content that I post. That's something that I was used to that I had to give up. I had to give up scrolling because, when we compare all the time, it's just like you have so much outside noise that you're not really focused on what you're supposed to do. So that was another habit from another goal that I had to give up. Another thing in my experience is once I decided to scale my second business, which really just means that I want to take this a bit further than just me, just Philadelphia, I realized that I have to sacrifice time to learning new skills. Like I can't be the restraint of my business. I have to, until I have the funds to hire more people, I have to learn more skill. I have to learn more skills. Once you understand the cost, you know what you're willing to commit to. If you say you want to travel to Turkey at the end of the year and you find out it costs you $1,500 on top of everything else you have to pay for, and you're like, yeah, yeah, that could wait till next year. Now you know the cost, right? You know the cost of it versus just saying, I want to do this and then becoming upset at yourself and not being graceful with yourself at the end of the year when you couldn't make it. Well, you never listed out the cost of it. You never listed out how much time it was going to take, how much money you're going to have to set aside every month, or, how much research you were going to have to do, or if you were going to hire like a travel agent. This is why this is important. You don't want to blindside yourself. You want to support yourself when you're achieving these goals. And a lot of people say, if you don't write the goals out, if you don't write it out, it's not going to happen. I want to take it a step further and tell you, if you don't identify what the actual if you don't identify what the actual cost is, you'll never understand why it didn't happen. That's just one part of it. So write the goal and then list all the cost of it. How much is this actually going to cost you? And if you are sitting there writing for minutes, then that's what it is. I'll show you an example. For me, I said I wanted to hit a specific revenue goal by the end of the year. So I said, okay, I'm going to have to do this much research. I'm going to have to take a lot more skills. I learn a lot more skills in marketing and sales and all these things that I'm not familiar with. I am going to have to commit to getting on my Zoom and doing my homework to achieve these goals. Otherwise, I can't just be like, "Oh, why does this happen?" Well, you didn't commit to all the hidden costs. So who you gonna be mad at, sis? Like, step 3, create a timeline and then triple it. Yes, I said triple it because the last thing that we're going to do is create stress for ourselves or create this unrealistic timeline of something that we probably haven't even done before. We don't know how long it'll actually take. And then a lot of people get mad when they're like, oh, I didn't buy my dream house by this year. I didn't move out. I wasn't able to sell as many products. Well, you kind of went in blind. Even if we do the research, we don't know how much it will take for us specifically to achieve this goal. For example, when I really decided to get serious and commit to my weight loss journey last year in the summer, I said, okay, it's going to take me 3 months to lose X amount of pounds, right? And then I was just like, I can see that about to stress me out already. It's on top of business. There could be unexpected delays. There could be curves. Something could happen in your life. There could be other things that you could consider. Or in reality, it just takes slower than what you think. So I said that I wanted to lose it in 3 months. I made it 12 months. I made it 12 months, right? Because I heard that, oh, it takes about 6 months to see real progress. But you know me, I think I'm special. I'm like, if I go really hard and I'm really committed, I could do this in 3 months. No, it's just not realistic. So I gave myself a year, right? I'm already seeing progress and I did not have to, as I would do in the past, kill myself. Like kill myself. I would starve myself. Not starve myself, but like just not eat things that I wanted to eat. I would stick to the chicken, broccoli, and rice. That's a whole nother story. But it creates less stress for yourself because now you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do and I still have so much time in front of me. And you know what else it does? It creates less expectation so that when you surpass it, you get it in less time or you start seeing more progress in less time. You're excited. You're like, oh, I'm definitely going to get it by that year mark. So that's why it's good to triple it because, it's less stress for yourself and you'll become more grateful and just, proud of yourself when you reach milestones sooner. And then if you do reach it by that year mark, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm glad that I didn't, kill myself and try to do. I don't think I should be saying that. Yeah. I'm glad that it's an African thing. I'm glad that I didn't, go so hard on myself for 3 months or 4 months when really it took this long. And you appreciate the journey as well. It's not just some challenge or some quick fix. So once you adjust your expectations, you stop feeling so frustrated. And it just goes back to that idea of a challenge. If your goalpost is too short, if you say 3 months or 2 months instead of tripling it, and that doesn't mean say 1 month just so that you can triple it, make it 3 months. Be realistic with yourself. Think about how you're going to be during this journey. If you don't, you'll feel too discouraged and quit soon. Think about all these challenges like 75 hard, or any other challenge where it's just a quick fix. Sometimes it's nice. Like, for example, I just did a challenge. It's nice to see what your limits are and how far you can go. But if you are doing it to see real change, like this is your end goal, then I don't suggest it, because it's just like you'll feel too discouraged too soon and quit. So, step 4, this is my favorite because I love tracking my progress. Step 4 is to define your inputs. And what does that mean, Zainab? Are we computers or something? Basically, so goals are outcomes, but you need inputs to see results. I think the issue with myself and a lot of people is that we create these results, which are outputs, but we don't define the inputs. You can't have a cake and not buy the sugar. I know that was a bad example, but stay with me. So you're going to ask yourself, what do you need to do daily? What do you need to do weekly or monthly to see progress? For example, if you say that you want to lose 20 pounds within the next 3 months, your inputs are going to be, this is something that you're going to track daily or weekly, is to walk 10K steps or reach 500 calories, because that's something I just learned. It's kind of the same. Reach 500 calories a day and eat in a caloric deficit, right? Those are your inputs. That's something that you can track, that you can control every single day. Or let's say your goal is to earn $10,000 this quarter. What you are going to do is make sure that you send 10 emails every day, where you spend 2 hours creating content, or you post 3 times a week, right? These are things that you can control. When I stopped focusing on the goal itself and started focusing, and I say this all the time. I say this all the time to my friends, and it works. Like, guys, literally, when you stop focusing on the end result and you focus on the inputs, and you making sure that you're doing your reps, or my gym girlies, when you're doing your reps, your repetitions, things that you're doing constantly, you will see results. You're going to see results. It's just like, think of it as something so simple. If you have a bottle of ketchup, right, and you use like 1 squirt a day, and you're trying to get rid of it, you're trying to get it empty. If you do it every single day, eventually it's going to be empty. Like, it's not crazy. If you do something every day, eventually you're going to see the results. I think we get so hard on ourselves because we're like, why isn't it empty now? Like, I did it for the past 2 weeks. Well, that's not how long it takes. You might have to do it for 2 months. That's a stupid example, but I want you guys to visually see, like, if you do this consistent action, if you do this consistent action long enough, you're going to have to see results. It's science. You're not going to be doing this for 2 years and not see a result. You get what I mean? It's not no. So what is the consequence of not doing this? If you do not set inputs for your goals, and goals, I want you guys to think of goals as the result, the outputs. How are you going to get output? How are you going to get output if you don't make any inputs, right? You have to create inputs. Tell yourself, whatever the bare minimum or the challenge that you want to create to yourself that's realistic, make sure you have that every day. I am going to hit 500 calories every day. If it's 8 o'clock and I'm tired, I'm going to put on some video of some random guy just walking until I see 500 calories on my watch, right? If I said I'm going to post 3 times a week, right? And it's Saturday and I didn't hit the third time yet, I'm going to make a post. You just feel so much comfortable. You feel so much more comfortable because it's just like, I'm showing up for myself. Whether it's a personal goal or a business goal, I am committing to myself. It's a form of self-love, really, too. I'm committing to myself. I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do it. And I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't like being a liar, especially to myself. If I said I was going to do something, I want to do it. And of course, we will have off days. Of course, there's some days where it's just going to be like, I just really don't feel well. I can't post today, or I just can't send this many emails, or I just can't do 10K steps. It'll happen sometimes. It just, as long as you get back to it tomorrow, or I can't get to 10K to set, okay, can we get to 5K? Can we walk to the corner and back? It's about showing up, and you'll feel so much proud of yourself versus like just not doing it all versus showing up a little bit. I promise you guys will. Step 5 is measure your progress, guys. Guys, it is one thing to write something down and say, okay, I'm ready. All right, when's the weight gonna fall off? Instead of just saying, okay, let me make sure I measure my progress and look at these pictures that I'm taking every week, or look at the scale, because you have to see how you're going. Like, of course, it'll be up and down, but let's say you start a goal last September, right? And it's going up and down, but you can see that it's slowly, gradually going up over time. You have to measure progress, right? So here's how we're going to measure our progress. Here are some steps to track your progress. I love using my notes. Like, the notes apps is free. You don't have to download anything if you have an iPhone, but you can also use Notion. You can also use a spreadsheet. Don't let that stop you. And you're going to track. You're going to track your inputs, and you're going to track any traction or results that you're seeing. I like to use daily and weekly check-ins. So, for example, if I am doing an email system where I'm sending X amount of emails a week, right? I hit my minimum. I made my input. My minimum was sending, let's say, 100 emails a week, right? I hit it. It's not enough to just say that you did it. Now we have to measure the progress. I hit 100 every week for the past 3 weeks. What changes did I notice? How many responses did I get? What responses did I get when I worded it this way? So let's say something personal like nutrition and fitness, right? So I noticed when I meal prep my food for the past 4 weeks, right? I meal prepped every Sunday. I only ate at home. I noticed this week I lost more weight. Well, let's see. Let's look at the food that you ate. Well, I noticed that I was eating, I don't know, less carbs, or I had less sugar. I noticed that I was going to sleep at 8 p.m. this week and I was waking up at 4 or whatever. I was making sure that I got 8 hours. It's nice to track it, and you don't have to be anal about it. You don't have to be super specific. It's just nice to not only see how consistent you're being, but to notice little changes and things that make differences in your results each week. So, what worked? What didn't? What needs adjusting? You're going to look at your Notion or your notes and see what is changing each week. In my experience, y'all, I used to make goals and never check back in. That was my problem. Like, when I first started to want to lose weight, for example, 2 years ago, I would say, okay, I want to lose X amount of weight by this time, and I'm just gonna go to the gym. Never checked back in. Never checked back in. And then I'm mad at myself. Nothing's working. I'm eating. Yo, I look back at myself and I'm like, she didn't know any better. It's okay. But I was crazy. I was really crazy, because how do you think you're gonna know what's working? You're not even checking back. One, I wasn't consistent. Two, I wasn't even checking back to see what worked and what didn't. It's crazy. Sometimes we can complain so much instead of just looking at the numbers. And that's why I like measuring my progress, because I am a logical person. I need to know the numbers, the science. I need to see, if I see a little bit of progress, I'm going to keep going. And progress will keep you going, you guys. Whether you're looking at pictures, whether it's for business and you're seeing slow traction. Like, you guys, when I sent emails, when I first started, for example, another example, we love examples. But when I first started my newsletter, for the longest, I always heard people talking about newsletters. When I started it last summer and I was doing 3 emails a week to my newsletter, I didn't see traction until probably like November, and people would start replying and people would start buying more stuff. And just seeing that increase like weeks by weeks, I was like, oh, I'm going to keep going. Now my newsletter is busting, y'all. But I'm like, I just needed to see progress. I just needed to know that the time I'm putting in is worth it. And that's what I want you guys to remember. You are a human being too. You don't like to waste your time. You want to know that the effort that you're putting in is worth it. And that's why I feel like a lot of times with goals, we're not tracking our progress. So we're like, why am I wasting my time with this? This not even working. Well, girl, you don't know if it's working. You don't know if it's working. You never check back on the list to see any progress that you made. You didn't even take the picture, you know? So that's why it's important. You have to be graceful with yourself. So, final thoughts. These 5 steps have changed the way I set goals. And y'all, I be setting goals and I be achieving them, you know, and it feels so happy to just see progress and like your efforts. Is so important to make sure that you do a few at a time. So please make sure that you do your brain dump, you identify the cost, you create your timeline and triple it, you define your inputs, and you measure your progress. And I would love to leave you guys with one of my favorite quotes. People have 2 lives. The first one, and then the second one when they realize they only have one. And I love that quote because, yo, we only have one life. Who are we playing with? Don't play with your goals. Don't play with what you want out of life. Don't play with the people that you care about. Don't play with yourself. Don't play with your health. You know, we only have one life. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please make sure that you subscribe, like the video. Remember, if you made it this far, to comment goal setter, because we are goal setters and we are goal achievers. So thank you so much for watching and see you guys in the next video. Bye.